What would emotional satisfaction look like? What would it feel like to only need to be satisfied once on the most needed emotional level? What would it feel like to never need anything or anyone emotionally ever again, after being emotionally satisfied one time and all your emotional needs were met? What if one mental encounter made you as smart as you wanted to be, and after that one mental encounter, you could learn and remember and recall as you choose to? What if our greatest fantasy was just to have our emotions and our mentality at peak stimulation, without exhaustion? What if we could still sleep and wake up and still feel emotionally and mentally satisfied each and every day? What do you think would be your emotional and mental permanent satisfaction? What if you had a choice to either max out mentally and emotionally and never have to want for any mentality and emotions again, or you could stay not maxed out mentally and emotionally and keep on emptying out and refilling with your emotions and mentality daily? What would you choose? Would you choose a life of emotional and mental bliss? Or would you choose a life where you could always choose a life where you had to constantly be restimulated mentally and emotionally daily? For your whole life, as we already do, we as humans have one goal, and that is to be mentally and emotionally satisfied. There is no greater goal than reaching a point of absolute gratification and satisfaction and bliss. The whole point in this journey has always been to reach emotional and mental bliss. The very thought of heaven and the afterlife and the 1,000 years of peace is a thought of reaching emotional and mental bliss. What goes beyond emotional and mental bliss? There is nothing that goes beyond bliss, because bliss is perfect happiness, deep joy or contentment, a state of serene delight, often associated with heaven or ecstasy. We are always looking for something that does not seem to exist on this planet, and that is a means to an end. We live this life in hopes to go through hell and live forever in blissful heaven. Would this life be worth it without the promise of reward? Would living even matter if there was not a promise of peace and joy and happiness and bliss on the other side? What if all we were promised was this life? Would this life be worth it? If this life was all we ever had, and reincarnation does exist and we are doomed to be reborn for eternity,